Hello.
Hi, Jasper, how are you?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm good.
I will change my virtual background. This is another program.
Keep spending most our lives living in gangster's paradise. Keep spending most our lives. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you? You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Oh, keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Keep spending most our lives. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, about. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choked, he's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his old back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope, he knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to his mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again. Yo, this old rhapsody. Better go capture this moment and hope that you better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying and choke. I really hate a trip, but I got a loke. As they croak, I see myself in the piss of smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night saying praise. Cause you better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Keep spending most our lives. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you? You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Oh, keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Keep spending most our lives. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Good morning, everyone. Good
Morning.
Thursday.
Morning to you.
Good morning.
I love your playlist. Very nice rendition.
I love it as well.
Actually, one of your recommendations.
Please do.
Yes, one of you suggested Lose Yourself. Yeah, and I love the song myself.
Oh, great.
First, let me introduce myself. I'm Nuhe. I will be covering for Nadine today. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I actually have some few things to tell you as usual. Just like any session, we need you to change your name, first name, last name, and your innovation name between brackets. So just like mine, Nohem, the first name, last name, and in between brackets, you put your startup name. I will also put this in the chat so it's clear.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, David.
Morning.
So everyone who joined now, I was just saying, could you please rename yourself to first name, last name, and then your startup name in between brackets. I'm sending it in the chat so you can see the example.
His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already.
I see there are a lot of you already
But on
changed
the surface he looks calm
their
and ready
name.
to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over about. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choked, he's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his old back to these ropes that don't matter. He's dope, he knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to his mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again. Yo, this old rhapsody. Better go capture this moment and hope that you better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go.
Yes.
Restart now.
Get one shot to not miss his chance to blow. This opportunity comes
So
once
I'm
in a
happy to
lifetime.
introduce
You better
your
lose
trainer today,
yourself in the music. The moment you own it.
Music is still very loud. Oh, yeah.
Yes, I stopped the music. So we can start.
Right. Shall I go?
Sorry?
Shall I start, or you were still going to say something?
No, we can start. You can start.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to see all of you. It's the second year that I'm working with Hill on this session. And let me first apologize for rescheduling. That was a bit messy of me, but I was so busy that I was juggling multiple balls. You probably know that the feeling, so my apologies for that. I will share my screen. Let me see. Present. Yes, so we're going to talk about commercial strategy and why am I passionate about this topic? I'm really inspired to work with social entrepreneurs, and I think the business and financial and commercial side of social entrepreneurship is very tough. And therefore, I like to help social entrepreneurs with this part and therefore make an impact that way. A quick introduction from my side. So I was born in the Netherlands and I'm currently based in Costa Rica, working for an NGO called Earth Charter. As I mentioned earlier, my purpose professionally is to help social entrepreneurs succeed. And I've been working for 6 years in this field on programs with the Impact Hub, with Booking.com, with the World Wildlife Fund. And my background is partly in consulting. I worked a few years for McKinsey. And I also have a background in entrepreneurship, setting up a business in the travel industry and co-working space. And personally, I can share one thing, since this program is also partly based in Africa, that maybe my most memorable trip was traveling from Amsterdam to Cape Town in 2013. So during that trip, I had seen some countries in Africa. So that's a little bit of my introduction. Someone is asking, is the meeting being recorded? Is the meeting being recorded, Nuha?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's good. All right. So we will work together on 2 sessions, but actually you will work on your commercial strategy in 5 steps. I want to make it as structured for you as possible. So step 1 is to fill in your commercial scorecard. You've done that already, to increase your awareness on where you stand. Step 2 is the session today, where you learn about the foundation. Step 3 is to fill in your scorecard with your targets for December 2021. So that's actually where you want to go to. Then step 4 is session 2, learn about how to build a commercial strategy. And then step 5 is implement it and prioritize. So I think that's pretty straightforward. So that's the plan. And today, the objectives are to bring more structure to your strategy, understand where your challenges are, and to define a few next steps. This is the agenda. We will start with sharing the expectations. We'll discuss the commercial scorecard. Then we go through step 1 till 10. We have 2 breakout sessions where you will discuss the content with your peers, your cohort, and we have a case example from legal design. Is legal design ready for that case example today? Are you guys in the house? I don't get a response yet, but I don't know. Are you guys in the meeting or aren't you attending? No response yet. So I will check that later. If they're not there, I will change it. And then at the end, we share insights and next steps. If you have any questions during the meeting, please type it in the chat and then I can answer. Okay, so the first question is, what do you want to get out of the session? And I ask you to write it in the chat right now, so we can also learn from each other what we want to get out. Now ask a few people to elaborate briefly. So please write your answer in the chat.
Sorry, Jasper, I just gonna say something. I see that a few people joined now after I mentioned to please change your names so that we can know which startups you're in. I have it in the chat. Please change your name to first name, last name, and your startup name in between brackets. Thank you. Yes. Sorry, Jasper.
No problem. Thanks for adding that. So I hope the exercise is clear. So please write in the chat what you want to get out of this session. And while you guys do that, I will ask one person to share also in the group. So maybe Mikola, can you share what you want to get out today, out of this session?
Well, hello. I think we need a new look about commercial strategies from you as an expert in these questions, because we have our own side on these questions, and if we'll get a new knowledge, it will help to develop our business and strategy more and better.
Thanks for sharing. So you want to get some more knowledge. And Kagai, can you share what you want to get out? A basic understanding. What do you mean with that?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Jasper. Hi, Nuha. I hope I said your name right, Nuha. Hi, everybody else. So basic understanding means, what I've learned with acceleration programs is that even if you went to business school, for example, there's just some things you're not taught. So probably from your years of experience, there's something that you will give us that will take us back to the drawing board and just the essentials that one should have when they're creating a commercial strategy. So that was what I meant by basic understanding.
All right, that's pretty clear. Yeah, so I hope I can provide you with some insights and inspiration. And I think the goal of today is also for all of the 10 steps to get some inspiration and to get some ideas for you that you can implement. Okay, who else would like to share? David from Binayati, can you elaborate?
Hi. Yes, mainly we already have a commercial strategy. We just need, based on our experience, we just need to validate the strategy and maybe learn some new techniques, new ideas, new strategies. So that's it.
Yeah, all right. So thanks for sharing. So I think you were all interested in learning some strategies and what you can implement. So that's what we're going to discuss today. And I created groups. So during the 2 breakout sessions, you will be matched with another startup. And the 2 sessions, you talk to the same one. So you guys can go a little bit more in depth. So that's the idea. And let's discuss the commercial scorecard. So why are we doing this, or why is this part of the accelerator program? Well, the average satisfaction is a 50.7 at the moment in this cohort out of 100 points. So positively speaking, that means there's still a lot of room for improvement, right? And I like that you're self-aware on this. And if you look at the individual elements, you see, for instance, that customer and products and pricing and people, the score a bit better, so 6.1 till 6.5. But for instance, activation is a 3.8. That's really low. And I think if you look at your own scorecard and you, for instance, score low at activation, the next step is really to understand, why don't you activate customers? Are you too expensive? Is your service not good enough? Maybe your communication is not yet clear. Maybe you're targeting the wrong customers. So the idea of this commercial scorecard is to really zoom in on the things that you're not so good at and really try to understand what's wrong. So if anything, I hope this session helps you to do that. So these are your strengths. So customer and product, people and pricing. And the main improvement points are activating the customer, so making sure that they buy. Awareness, that's making sure that people know you and the processes in your company related to marketing and sales. And I would like to ask some of you to reflect a bit on how it was for you to fill in this scorecard and what you learned from this. So maybe Lilian Nekesa, can you maybe share how it was for you? No response yet. Is there a volunteer that wants to share how it was for you to fill in your commercial scorecard?
Well, it was not hard, but really I forgot what we've filled there, and I don't know where to look for my scorecard right now.
Okay, so you don't know where it is. Okay, after the session, we will send you a link again.
And it was not hard to fill it for our products.
Yeah, but what did you learn? Did you get any new insights by filling it in?
I think no.
No insights. Okay. And someone else? Is there someone else that wants to share?
Yep. Could I?
Yes, sure.
Okay, great. It was just different in looking in perspective, and it really helped us, especially to look at some insights we hadn't thought about, like referrals and intention and referrals and retention, sorry, and just pay particular attention to that. And also how to link it to the rest of the fundamentals, because maybe that's also a part we were missing out on. But yeah, it was a good time for self-reflection as an organization.
Yeah, and I like how you say that, because sometimes when you don't perform in one area, it can be connected to another area, right? So if you look at your fundamentals, what part is still missing?
So looking at our fundamentals, the processes is what it's not missing. We are just making it better, because now we've realized it pays particular attention to the marketing and sales funnel. And so that's just it. It's just making it better. It's not missing. Okay.
Yeah. So you want to improve it. Okay.
Yes, and be intentional on knowing what it is.
Yeah. So
yeah.
you're more aware of it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So who do you want to invite from this group to also share on the commercial scorecard?
Okay, let me see. Jack Chanel's Legal Kundi.
Okay. So Jack, can you please share your reflection on the commercial scorecard?
Okay, if it's not there, Odunoluwa.
Hi, I'm not an innovator, so I'm with him.
Okay, great. Then I can pick on some of the ones that I know. So Vindex or Upesi, one of either.
I don't know. It's not everyone responds.
Hello,
Upesi responded. Thank you.
All right, Rohingya. For me, I think for us, when you're filling the Excel, you get to ask yourself quite a number of questions, especially on certain aspects that you hadn't reflected on as much as you thought you might have done before. So for us, our key metrics that we were really focusing on were activation, retention, referrals. But filling in the Excel, we realized that we needed to think about a bit, like you mentioned earlier, about our pricing, because our activation was still not as high as we wanted it to be based on the Excel.
And what is the main reason you think why your activation is not so high?
Could be the pricing. So lately we've been running an A/B test on digital platforms with variated pricing to see if that could be the issue. Mm-hmm. But we're yet to get that results in definitive ways. So yeah.
I think I like how you say that you had to reflect on it in a new way. And if your activation is low, it's important to really understand what the reason is. And sometimes it helps to interview customers, right? To really ask feedback. So if you get the chance to talk to people that were considering to buy but didn't buy, I think that's an interesting group to talk to.
Yeah, so you'll find we get a lot of downloads and people using the app. I think where we need to do more work is in conversion, the activation part of it, and partly we are trying to test the different pricing that we can. Across. Yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. The next step is we will take a look at the first 4 steps, and I will share a bit of theory and some examples and a question for you to reflect on. So step one is the customer and the product. And in that step, it's really important to make a clear customer segmentation, right? So your segments could be government agencies, NGOs, corporates, small businesses, and then really understand the pain point per customer segment and also the solution that you require. And sometimes the problems that these customer segments have, they are unique and different. And then also the solution that you have are different. And also make an 80-20 analysis. So typically 20% of your customers generate 80% of the revenues. So which are the customer segments that you think will drive the most revenues? And sometimes you just try something and for 1 or 2 years you're continuing and you're working. But it's good to take a step back during this program to analyze which are the segments and where do we see the most revenue potential. And then also the products or services that you offer. It's important to have a clear offering, a clear menu. So a famous example are the Unilever ice creams, right? So they have a Rocket, it's $1, a Cornetto, it's $2, and a Magnum, which is $3. I mean, that's a clear offering. And also for your business, let's say you're a legal company, maybe you also have like 3 different memberships for companies to participate in. And another example is the Skill Hub. So 6 years ago, I co-founded a company called Startup. It's an office space for startups. But then we realized that startups didn't have much money for the office space. So we changed the focus to the Skill Hub. And these are companies that spend a minimum of €1,000 per month on office space. So by changing the customer segment, we really increase the revenue. So it could be that currently, if your activation is low, that you're focusing on the wrong segment. So if that's the case, then I recommend you to change that. And a question that you could think of is, who is your role model customer and what products and services do you offer? So this is a question for you to reflect on. Then a tip for customer and products, focus on the customer group with the highest revenue potential. And of course, this sounds common sense, but sometimes entrepreneurs, they spend a lot of time on customer segments that actually don't bring in the revenue. So this is really a tip, like really reflect what's the group with the most revenue potential. So that's step one. Then as a case example, I wanted to ask Chaya Legal. You're focused on small businesses, I see on your website, but can you elaborate a little bit on your segmentation, like what type of small businesses you target?
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's Veronique here from Chaya Legal. Okay, for the purposes of the cohort, we have a product called Legal Ascend. So it sort of focuses on different segmentation, which is not small businesses. I'm not sure if I should answer on this example or should I answer on the actual product that we are focused on, which is Legal Ascend. I don't mind answering on the business one if that's going to make the example easier.
You can share a bit like what products do you offer to what type of customers? Like, can you share a bit on that?
Okay, so for purposes of Chaya Legal, so and Legal Ascend, it's basically an online tool that assists sort of ordinary citizens to be able to administer a deceased estate. So that's quite different from the small business market. But yeah, so that's one of the offerings that we do. So we actually take them through the whole process of how to actually do the admin after death process. Yeah, so that's sort of our customers are ordinary South Africans. Yeah.
And did you always have that in mind, or did you change your customers, or how did you learn which customers are best for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So initially when we started, we wanted to focus on providing our tool to everyone. So including, like, for example, legal practitioners, because I thought it was going to be easy because they normally do the admin of the death process, and they're sort of traditionally known to do the process for people. So almost like agents. So we wanted to target those agents. But then as we started to do customer discovery, we sort of realized that there were already like big players in the market that have already sort of, secured business with the attorneys. And we then realized it was going to be, too competitive in that space. And that's when we realized that with our product, there isn't really technology that helps the ordinary citizen on the ground. And they sort of more what is the word that I'm looking for, reliant on the agents, and the agents charge exorbitant costs. And I mean, I'm an attorney as well, so I know like the fees are very high, and so that's why our product focuses on trying to cut those costs using technology.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for sharing. I think this is a great example where you first have a certain assumption, but then you learn, right, and change along the way. So yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, then we go to step 2, and on each step we can talk for hours, but this is just a quick 2-hour session to get to the basics. So on pricing, the theory says that you can define your price based on 3 elements. So option 1 is on competition. So you look how the competitors do their pricing, and then you can do the same price or be a bit cheaper, a bit more expensive. Option 2 is that you focus on the costs. So you assess what your costs are, and do you add a little bit of margin, right? Because you want to make a profit. And option 3 is that you look at value. So you try to understand what a customer is willing to pay for this. And an example is in consulting, right? I can, for instance, for me as a trainer, I can take a look how much are other trainers asking. But I can also take a look at my costs. So let's say I want to make $2,000 a month, for instance. And if I want to work 40 hours a month, then I should charge $50 an hour to cover my $2,000 in costs. But if you look at value, I can take a look like, hey, what would a client be willing to pay? So these are different pricing methods. And if you're focused on pricing right now, I think you can define your price based on these 3, and then make a choice which one suits you best. And a question for you to think of is, what products and services do you offer at what price, and how do you determine this price? And also, did you validate this price by your customers or not yet? And a case example is Mindvalley. Mindvalley is an online education platform. And what I like about their pricing structure, they have 4 levels of membership, and they clearly show what's included in the membership and also what the price is. So this is also something that you might want to consider. And a tip on pricing is, have a clear pricing structure, and also ask feedback from your current customers, but also potential customers, because you can learn from customers in that field. So that was a bit the basics on pricing. Then we go to people, and there's a few different elements, right? So you have marketing and sales, whereas marketing is more raising awareness for your company, online marketing. Sales is really deal closing, and these 2 require different skills. So marketing people, you need to be creative, analytical. Whereas with sales, it's really important to be a deal closer. So for instance, if you don't sell enough as your business, you should also take a look at yourself or at your people. Like, is there someone in the team that can really close deals? And it's also important to understand whether you're mostly focusing on online sales, so your pure digital business, or offline sales. And to also understand what type of skills you need for both. Then around salary. So if you're going to hire people, you could make use of a fixed salary, and then also have a bit of a variable salary, depending on how much someone is selling. because this way you stimulate that people are really eager to sell. If you just give someone a fixed salary, I mean, there's also a risk in it because they get the money every month. And since you have like very little resources as a startup, you can maybe be creative by combining employed people, freelance and external. Very often the digital marketing agencies or Google AdWords can be done externally, but you can also work with freelance people for specific tasks. For instance, for your search engine optimization, maybe you can hire someone. And with marketing and sales, you require many different people and skills, right? So it's not always possible to hire everyone full-time. So you need to be creative on that. And I wanted to ask you, PC, on the next slide, but wait 1 second. So a question for you to reflect on, and I will send you all the slides after the session, by the way, so you can take a look. Like, to what extent do you have the right marketing and salespeople in your team? And how much time do you spend on sales? I think that's a relevant question for you to reflect on. So is there someone in the room from UPC, and can you elaborate a bit, like what type of people do you now have in the team? Are they focused on marketing, on sales? Do you focus on online or offline?
Yeah, so thank you. So UPC basically is a digital platform for connecting people to emergency response services. So most of our marketing is on digital platforms like Google Ads, and we've had an internal marketing person who's been doing that, and what we realized is it helps with growth in the numbers, but not necessarily conversion of premium customers. So on the sales side of it, we realized we are getting more customers through the partners that we are working with. And that has been the strategy we've taken to see more growth in conversion. But we still do most of our advertising on digital platforms.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And if you look at your commercial scorecard in the future, what skills are you still missing in your team?
So I think currently UPC works with quite a number of partners, and we are looking at having somebody who can help us manage and maintain those relationships. Because a lot of our customers are coming from the partners that we're working with. On the digital side, marketing, I think so far with the resources we have currently in terms of personnel on the digital marketing, we should be, I think that section is solid. So the main gap is in the maintaining the relationships with the partners, and we need somebody strategic on that.
So yeah, strategic relationship management.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thanks for sharing. I think this is a good example, and why I asked those questions. I want you to reflect on like what skills are missing in your team and how are you going to fill those roles. And yeah, sometimes skills are also missing because you don't like this area of field, right? But it's really important to be aware of like what is missing and how will you solve that. Okay. Yeah, so a tip on people is to attract people that are really good in selling. I think selling is really a different ball game, right? It's really a different type of role. And yeah, you need to focus on that in your hiring process. Okay, then we go to step 4, the processes. So the processes consist of several elements, right? So the first is data. So on what type of KPIs do the individuals and the organization focus? What I see often is that a company, for instance, with a low conversion percentage, often is not really focused on this, or there's no one in the organization that has conversion as a KPI. So very often when the performance is low, it is because no one is really focused on that. So make sure you know what your KPIs are for your business, but also at the individual level, that each individual knows on what KPIs they're focusing. The second one is to what extent do you frequently use customer relationship management system? I think if you grow your business, you will also grow your sales funnel and you will interact with more and more customers. So it's really important to have a CRM system. And maybe your company says, I don't want to buy your product now, but then it's important to send them a reminder in 2 months. And it's also important that your employees can have access to that system. So everyone is aware, like what is happening to each customer. And the third part is like the rhythm, like to what extent do you have a rhythm of sales meetings? For instance, do you have a sales meeting each Monday, or do you have sales meetings, more randomly? And I think it's important to establish that rhythm in your sales. Then a few of examples. So you can use Google Data Studio. In that you can create a marketing and sales dashboard where you measure your performance and your progress. You can use Pipedrive. I will show a screenshot of this. So this is a customer relationship management system. And in this Pipedrive, you see 5 steps, right? So step 1 is the idea with clients that you like to attract. Step 2 is contact made. So you send them an email, you invited them for a coffee. 3 is needs discovered. So you understand what their needs are. 4 is you send them a proposal and then you negotiate. And by having a system like Pipedrive, you work in your sales in a structured manner. So you have Google Data Studio, you have Pipedrive. And for instance, you could have a weekly Monday morning meeting on sales. So a question for you to reflect on is to what extent do you have the right marketing and sales processes? And if you don't have these yet, like what processes are missing? And if you're new in this field, I can recommend you to create a overview of the entire customer journey. So your customer journey maybe starts when they see an advertisement of you on Facebook, then they visit your website, then they download your app, then they start using it. And for each step that the customer makes, you define what you as an entrepreneur and you as a business are doing. And then a tip on processes, create clarity on data, systems and rhythm. So these are a few of the tips. And after this, we will go to the breakout session, but I think we're still setting this up. But before we go to breakout, I wanted to ask, is there someone in this group that has a question on step 1 to 4 of the commercial strategy? Please feel free to ask. Or is there someone that wants to reflect on step 1 to 4? I think no one is talking, so maybe that means that everything is very clear.
I have a question, sorry.
Yes.
This is Chris from Vindex Systems.
Hello.
On step 2 about pricing, the tip that you gave was, one part of the tip was to ask for feedback, and I assume this is from our customers, right?
Yes.
I'm just wondering, wouldn't that keep pushing the prices lower and lower because customers might be predisposed to say that the prices are high for them?
Yeah, so that's
how exactly do we go around the feedback aspect?
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, because of course they can negotiate, but I mean it more. Sometimes you have customers that you trust and that you can make a bit part of your strategy. So you can say, hey, you're one of my important customers and I want to get some feedback on the pricing strategy. And like, what do you view on our value, or how can we increase our value? Do you have any feedback on pricing? And if you have that type of relationship, you can get interesting insights, I think, in your value. But I do agree that they probably won't say you need to double your price, but still, I think you can get useful feedback from customers.
Okay.
And you can see it as an additional input, right? So you have your own view, you see what competitors are doing, but then you can also get some feedback on on customers on your pricing. Do you think that makes sense, or you think it's too tricky?
I think it makes sense, but I think it's true that we will need to talk to about that. It's the customers that we can trust.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Is there someone else with a question?
Hi, Jasper.
Hi.
Yeah, this is William. So I don't know what I'm about to say, just is in follow-up to Chris's point. And I think what my suggestion would be is part of this, the acceleration here, we're being taught or we're learning different things. So while we're picking up tips and knowledge from this current session, and the idea is to merge it with what we've learned from other sessions. So if we remember, we had a customer discovery session where pricing strategy basically was discussed. So I think it's just a matter of referring to what we picked up from that session and then applying it in order to arrive at what your best pricing would be if asking customers directly for feedback doesn't work for you.
You think it doesn't work?
Sorry?
You think it doesn't work? Is that what you say?
No. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I mean, if one feels that might not be a direction to go, they could also use other means to validate their pricing rather than,
I like your point, and apparently you've had a session already on this, and there's indeed different methods. So I think the 3 methods that I mentioned, like the competition, you can do market analysis, right?
Yeah.
And the value-based pricing, you can ask customers, what is this worth to you?
Yeah.
And you need to make your own assessment whether it makes sense, but you get at least a feeling. And then the cost approach is more looking at your own financials and your cost structure. So there's different methods that you can use.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? And Nuha, is the breakout, is that ready, or is it not possible yet?
2 more minutes and it'll be possible. Actually, I'm having trouble with the ones who don't have their startup name in between brackets, because I'm trying to follow the list that you prepared, Jasper.
Okay. So if you don't have your startup names between brackets, please put it there. And yes, I can already start sharing a bit about the breakout session. So the idea is that you share the key insights for your own company from step to 4. So what are the things that you learned so far, and what are the things that you do well? What are the things that you want to improve? And then, reflect on actions that you can take to further improve. So you share this with the other group for, let's say, 4 minutes or 5 minutes, and then the other company gives 1 or 2 minutes of feedback. And then after 6 minutes, you change roles. So in total, it will be 12 minutes. But that's the idea of the breakout session. And it could be like, okay, I think we need to hire someone that will do our Google AdWords. Or on customer, it could be, I think we need to focus on the different customer segments. We should move from B2C to B2B. Or it could be on pricing. I want to move from cost-based pricing to value-based pricing. Or on processes, it could be, I think we need to start working with a customer relationship management system. So really try to define a few actions that you can improve based on the input that I gave you. Are there any questions about the breakouts? Not really. Okay, that's good news.
Jasper, can we have these 4 steps written maybe in our chat to discuss each question, not only about CRM system or sales, but also about marketing?
Yeah. So you mean?
If you can just copy the statements.
So, and then also the questions, you mean, right?
Yeah. It would be. It will help us to discuss this question.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. So let me put that in the chat. The questions. This is 1. And this is 2. And in the meantime, you can already think about what you want to share with the other startup. So please already start thinking on that.
The breakout rooms are ready, so whenever you are ready, I can start it.
Yes, we're ready.
Perfect. Jasper?
Yeah.
So do you like to be in like one room every like 2-3 minutes? Anything, just like inform me.
Yes, maybe 2 rooms in total.
Okay.
Otherwise, maybe it becomes too much.
Mm-hmm. I see that they're still joining the rooms. I see that not everyone joined the room.
Everyone joined the rooms?
Not
Well,
everyone.
I don't really understand what to do. I thought it will be in some automatic way, but
No, yes, a button would appear and like you could just click on join the room. I assigned you to a room.
We haven't received the invitation yet.
I see that in room 8 they already joined. Room 6 they already joined too.
In the chat, a few people shared they didn't receive an invitation.
Yes, I'm trying to do it again, but like a lot of them already joined the room. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, David. The invitations were sent, but I'm trying to send you another one.
Sorry, I mean where, not where. Where? By email or here? Or...
No, here. You will just get an option to join another room.
Oh, okay. I didn't get nothing till now.
I'm trying to do it again. Just waiting for the other guys to come back.
Okay.
You guys didn't receive the invitation yet?
I didn't.
Not yet.
Me too, please. Can you send it?
Yes, I sent you twice the invitation, and some people are already in the breakout rooms.
Also don't have an invitation.
I don't have.
Strange, huh? Do we do a big group discussion?
Yes, I think we should do that. And I'll go to our IT champion and get back to you. I will, some people are in the breakout rooms right now. I will get them back here.
Yeah. Okay, so what I propose, you can share in 1 minute what you want to share, and then the next one goes, right? So multiple people get the opportunity to share. So Kagai, do you want to start?
Sure, Jasper. The other ones in the breakout room need 30 more seconds so they can join back.
Oh, but they can stay in the breakout room, right? They can stay in the breakout.
Sorry?
They can stay in the breakout, right?
Ah, okay. Yes, they can, yeah.
And then just with the people that don't get it, we can do the group discussion.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
Kagai, do you want to start sharing?
Sure, I can start sharing. So the first question that you had put to us was to share and reflect on what we've learned from what you have taught, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was, as you were teaching, I was writing notes, and I was looking at the 4 processes that you had said. And in a minute, I think our biggest impediment would be at the people, where you asked how much time do we spend on sales, and I even wrote here, I circled not enough. And I circled and do you have the right team for sales? And then I wrote, no, I don't think so. So that's where I saw, yeah, that's where our biggest problem is. And then in data, I think we have to streamline what KPIs everybody is focusing on. And then I analyzed that pipe drive would be very good for us. So I want to look at pipe drive. And then, yeah, so that's in 1 minute, I can say that's what I've learned so far.
Yeah, it's really, yeah, that's fun, but also very important, right? To realize that you don't have to write people yet. That's a good realization. And then you can identify, yeah, what type of people you need and how you can attract them. So thanks for sharing. So who else would like to share their insights?
Can I nominate?
I can go.
Yes, please go ahead.
And so Kanuni is a legal information search engine, and we're now working also on some kind of free platforms to address specific justice needs in terms of information and reaching that person. And yeah, in terms of strategy, what was missing and it has been missed because of Corona is the field salesman. We had 2, and we couldn't sustain during Corona because Tunisian market is very small, and our biggest early adopters are big corporates. So and we need to go to their offices to sign the contracts, and it happened that it worked. And I think we need a better digital marketing strategy to reach out to them because they're reachable, but we didn't get the right tone of voice, how to reach them, because there are special personas to reach. So we are working on this now. We have like grown our digital marketing team to be able to give them the right story about this. So this is something that we tried. It has worked, but we saw that it is not a sustainable way to go to our early adopters, especially when we are thinking about scaling our product in other countries. Pricing strategy was made to be to be less than our competitor. So we didn't have a pricing strategy that is related to our cost or to the value that we are bringing to our customer. It was a work that has been done by someone who was our competitor, and now we are joint venturing with him. So yeah, we'll get what he has thought about.
Yeah. So you want to be a bit cheaper than your competitor?
Yeah, we wanted to be a bit cheaper than our competitor. It was not a lot, but it came clear to us that those that were not buying from him were price sensitive. So we jumped on that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good remark, and typically you can win in a few ways, right? So either you're cheaper, or you're better, or you're more service oriented. Yeah. I think it's really important to understand, like, do you want to be cheaper or do you want to be better? Because it's often difficult to be both, right? If you're and cheaper and better, I mean that's the golden bullet, but that's never not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, and the guy was very aggressive in terms of marketing. So when we went to these big corporates, they all knew him. So the first thing that popped out is, yeah, it's too verticalized offers, and if we get it all, it's too expensive for us. So we had the global offer, less expensive to enter, and it has worked. We've got a lot of big corporates because of this.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. I'm happy to hear. So who's next? Who else would like to share?
I want to tell a little story about our pricing policy. At first, we've built our policy based on the prices of similar products on the market. But then we've calculated how much we want to earn over the next 5 years. And we've decided to rise our prices because strategy that is based on prices of our competitors did not match our willing of revenue and our profits. So it's not always about seeing the prices of competitors, but also about your financial plans when you're making your pricing strategy.
Yeah, that's really good to take that into account, because also if you increase your business and hire more employees, your cost levels will increase. It's always important to understand, like, how many customers and what price do you need to be break even, right? So this break even analysis is very important, next to also analyzing your competitors. Anyone else that wants to share?
Okay, yes. So for us, as this is William again. For us, this is why this pricing is kind of important to us, because that's currently the stage that we are in, and we just changed. We pivoted basically our target customers, and that has led to us deciding to also change our pricing. And so definitely what our new price is higher than our former price, and that's based on the value that we believe that will be given to the new customer set. So yeah,
that's really good. And how did you come to the decision to increase your price or to do this based on value? How was that for you, that process?
Okay, so initially so what we do is we have a mobile app called Afriîkanə that basically helps people get legal services or a lawyer when they are being confronted by a human rights abuse situation. So if say a security official is abusing somebody, they just use the mobile app to get a lawyer to that location very quickly. So initially we mistakenly or wrongly thought that we could target everybody, every youth, but as time went on and more research, and I must give credit to this accelerator, we got more exposed. We understood that we had a different target audience, people like activists who speak up against the government, people like journalists who do investigative journalism, who are usually exposed to such to challenges that could attract such abuse. So now we believe that to a regular person, we could charge, say, 4,000 naira. Naira is our currency. But we weren't really getting a lot of love from those people, because it was like, hey, an emergency is not going to happen to me, so I don't need to pay for this right now. But now, our new target audience, we believe, we haven't really rolled, because we're about to roll out the second version of the app, but we haven't really rolled out. But from the little studies that we're doing, we believe that will be offering, will be viewed as more valuable to this particular customers who are in the line of danger, so to speak.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And have you also considered sending a survey to potential customers to identify the needs for each different customer?
Yes, thank you. We will. I
think that's very useful, right? If you send a survey to people and then you get feedback per type of customers, what they want, who they are, etc. I think that's quite useful, because sometimes the risk is that you guess too much, and by sending a survey, you take the guessing out and you really get data-driven feedback.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. Yeah, thanks.
Well, thank you. Someone else wants to share? Who else would like to share their insights? If not, how much time do we have left, Nuha?
I will.
Okay, thanks.
Hi. So we are binary. It's a solution for managing common tasks in a building, financial, communication, legal, and everything related to buildings. So as for customers and product, it's been 3 years our product is online. Our product is very useful based on our clients' feedback. So we have a good product and it's a need. As for pricing, we use value and cost scenarios, not the competitors, since actually we don't have a real competitor, the software competitor. We have file Excels and that's it. So for pricing, we do the cost, we calculate our cost, and we get the value. We get we ask the clients how much we'll pay for it, and we put a very low price so that we can get the maximum number of clients. And so competitors will be very difficult for future competitor to come in and get our market.
Yeah,
that's as pricing.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And it's good that you don't have real competitors, right? That's unique.
Yes, fortunately, yes.
Yeah, and if you look at value-based pricing, have you already increased your price at some point, or you stick to the same price?
No, we stick to the same price, even we decrease. We in Lebanon, due to the financial crisis we live here, we were obliged to decrease the fees just this year, so that our customers keep renew.
Yeah,
until we get some stability.
So you adapted your pricing based on the external circumstances.
Yes.
That's good. Nuha, how much time do we have left in these breakouts?
Actually, everyone is back to this session, so everyone is here, and if you want, we can move to the sub 5 to 10.
That's good. Yeah. All right.
I'd like to add my insights before we begin. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Amir Kurdi, and I'm an attorney, and I'm also founder of Ada.ps, which is a platform that automates legal advisory for employment issues. So basically, the system generates a report and also provides service of connection to lawyers who can actually take the matter and represent a client in court or in negotiations. So we have two revenue models, or actually the main one is the report. The report has two versions, which the first one is basic and the second one is advanced. Advanced is like, it ranges from, we're still in this issue, we want to identify, we conducted a survey with 100 users. And based on that, we had identified that the price per report should range between $10 and $20. And that is based on what lawyers, usually lawyers would take for consultancy from $50 to $100 per session. So we don't have a competitors in the online market, and most of our competitors are physical. So they tend to meet with their clients face to face, while we do it online. So there's a room for error. So what we do is we spread awareness based on the information that still needs validation with lawyers, and we just like make them pay a small fee, which ranges between 10 to 20, to be aware of the right and what they're entitled to.
Oh, thanks for sharing. And what I really like about your story is that you send a survey to 100 people, that you got useful insights in this. And I can really recommend to other people to send surveys as well. And can you maybe elaborate also for the other people, what has been really the benefits for you to send such a survey?
What are the benefits for me for what?
For sending this survey, what have been the benefits for you?
Oh, definitely. The survey was very important to understand and to validate the solution, first of all. And second, to understand if it addresses all their pain points. So basically, the biggest pain point is awareness. Most of people are deprived of their basic rights due to lack of awareness. And this is according to statistics that is published by the ILO and local NGOs. And based on that, we said that, okay, the best part to focus on is the awareness. And most of the individuals that we have surveyed, they have mentioned that we did not know our rights. This platform enabled us to know what we are entitled to. And that's what we're excited about. And the second part is to make it, to make the program capable of addressing pain points without having to revert to an attorney to validate it.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for sharing. I hope that can serve as an inspiration for others that haven't yet sent surveys. Okay, so this was step 1 to 4. So I hope you have now a better insight on your foundation and also the things that you want to improve. Now we continue with step 5. Let me see. Oh. Yes, step 5. Okay. So awareness, it means like out of the 7.8 billion people in the world, how many people know about your organization? And there's different ways to, different channels to raise awareness. So you have owned channels, paid and earned. So owned are the channels that you own. So your website, your newsletter, your Facebook channel. These are all channels that you can influence. And then paid, it means you pay Google or you pay Facebook for advertisements. So these are paid ways to get awareness. And then earned, it means people want to talk about you. So journalists want to write about you, customers talk about you because people really like what you do. And that's what you call earned awareness, because you're not owning it, you're not paying for it, but you're basically deserving it. So for instance, if someone, if a journalist approaches you and they write an article about you, that's what you call earned. And I think it's good for you to reflect. Maybe you can give yourself a rating from 1 to 10, like how well do you score at owned, how well do you score at paid, and also at earned. So that's really recommended. Then there's 19 traction ways or ways to get traction. And there's a book on this. And I will show you on the next slide. And it shows 19 traction channels. So For instance, number 9 is email marketing, or number 18 is speaking engagements, or number 14 is affiliate programs. So what you can do is you can find this book. There's also videos about this book. And then for each of these 19 channels, you can identify which ones are you not yet doing and could you potentially implement. Then I had one mentor, and he always explained me the difference between a peacock and a penguin. So the penguin is someone that is more internally focused and organizes the business and makes sure everything operates smoothly. And the peacock is someone that goes external, goes outside, talks to the media, talks at events. And I think it's good for you to be aware, like, are you more a peacock or a penguin? And what does that mean for your business? If you're a penguin, for instance, I mean, that can be great, but then you might miss the peacock skills to increase awareness for your business. So also, the more aware you are of what you are, the better you can hire people that complement you. One example that I have is thank you caretakers. So as a response to COVID, I set up a digital platform in the Netherlands where people could share a thank you message for healthcare workers in the Netherlands. And then it will be displayed in hospitals on screens. And how we raised awareness is also by working with an advertising agency and also with big ads in Amsterdam. And yeah, this advertising agency helped us to increase awareness. And sometimes advertising agencies, they want to adopt social enterprise projects because they like it. So you can also find out, are there any advertising agencies or marketing agencies that you can work with to increase your awareness. So a question for you to reflect on. And all these questions that I ask, I mean, of course, you don't have all the answers now, but after the session, maybe you can discuss these with your investors, your co-founders, your employees. So a question to reflect on is like, what are your 3 most important awareness tactics? I mean, there's 19 possibilities as mentioned in this book. But what are your top 3 priorities, right? So that's a bit about awareness. And I wanted to ask House Africa. I'm not sure if you're in the house, but I noticed that you've been seen in many media articles, Venture Burn, Fast Company. Can you share a bit your tips and tricks, how you appear in all those magazines? Hello?
Okay, good morning. This is okay. From South Africa. So some of the couple of friends who are writers in with Venture Burn. And I think when we were doing a different program in Cape Town sometime in late 2019,
Are you still there? Oh. I think the technicalities don't work, so let's come back to this at a later point.
Hello?
Hello, are you still there?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that, my network. All right, so we got to, my name is Mutsaerts, co-founder House Africa. So we got to get some of this attention because we know a couple of persons who work in some of these media house. So they reached out and volunteered to write about the features. And then when we're doing a different program in Cape Town sometime in 2019, so the Fast Company and How We Made in Africa was partnered to that program. So that's how we got featured on that. So we really have not paid for any of this at no time. So people reached out to us and then get this information out.
Okay, now that's really good. So yeah, if you want to appear in the media, maybe you can ask House of Africa how these things work. And Wahiga has a question like, advertising agents, you need to show them real money. Yeah, I think that's of course a valid point. So maybe it's not easy. But yeah, maybe you can find agencies in Europe or US that want to work with projects in Africa. I mean, I think in the Netherlands, many companies like that. Yeah. Okay. So so pay attention to owned, paid, and earned. And then we move to acquisition. So if you're an online business, acquisition means that you attract people to your website. And if you're an offline business with a shop, for instance, it means you attract people to a shop. But at online, there's different ways to attract people. So you have organic, which means that people type a keyword in Google and then they find you. Paid, it means through advertising, through Google or Facebook. Social is, of course, social media like Instagram, like Twitter. And referral is that you are mentioned at another website. So it could be that a blogger or influencer has written about your company. And if I go to that website of the blogger, then I go through your website. Email marketing can be very effective. So if you don't do that yet, you can do that. Direct means people type in your domain name directly, and display means advertising where certain ads are shown. So it could be that your ad theoretically could be shown on the New York Times website, and you can target visitors based on age, based on where they're from, based on their interests. And all these things that I just mentioned, they're shown also on your Google Analytics. It looks like this. You can see the number of visitors, the number of sessions, conversion percentage. And if you don't yet work with Google Analytics, I recommend you to install Google Analytics, to appoint one person in the team that takes care of this and to start analyzing your data. And also by creating an overview that I share in this screen, you can identify which channels you are using, because in this example, they use 8 channels. But some companies, maybe they only use 2 or 3, and that means that there's more channels that you can use. Yeah, so in offline acquisition, I mean, there's inbound and outbound, right? So inbound, it means people come to you, like House of Africa mentioned, some journalists came to them. But outbound means that you're proactively reaching out to companies or organizations to sell. And often when sales is not at the level that you hope it to be, it's because you don't have enough outbound activities. So you don't have enough focus on outbound. So I think another question for you to reflect on is like, how active are you already on outbound? And if you're not active enough, why is that? Is that because you don't like it? Is that because you have the wrong priorities? Is that because you don't know to what customers to reach out to? So really try to understand that. And I can recommend to have enough sales meetings, and also maybe set a target for yourself to say, I want to spend 1/3 of my time on sales, for instance, or 25%. Well, then there's you can focus on specific customer segments, or you can, let's say, spray and pray, as they say. So if you use an online budget, if you spray and pray, maybe you waste your money. But if you focus, for instance, okay, I want to focus on people living in Nairobi between 25 and 35, that's more focused. Then there's a concept of cost of acquisition and customer lifetime value. So the cost of acquisition means the average cost that you make to attract a customer. So if you spend $3,000 on marketing a month and you attract 10 new customers per month, that means your cost of acquisition is $300. And then the customer lifetime value means how much revenue do you make per customer throughout the lifetime. So if you make $100 a month and the average customer stays with you for 10 months, that means you have a customer lifetime value of $1,000. And it's important to understand what your cost of acquisition is and what your customer lifetime value is. And sometimes if your customer lifetime value is relatively high, it's also okay to spend a bit more on the cost of acquisition. So sometimes the issue with startups is also that you don't spend enough, right? That you don't take enough risks. One example is Snuffelbox. I mean, this is a Dutch company. They offer a subscription service for owners of dogs with food and some games for dogs. And when I worked with them, we found out that Facebook advertising worked really well for them. So for quite a while, for quite a bit, they focused on that. And why I'm sharing this with you is, as you see at the next slides, there's really a lot of options, but it doesn't mean that you have to do everything. Maybe you find out that Facebook works perfect for you, then you can also focus on that. So I think you should try a lot of different things, but if you find something that works for you, you can also focus. So a question for you to reflect on: how do you get more leads? So a lead is a potential customer. So how do you get more leads? And what is the cost of acquisition that you envision? So the solution could be you spend more time on sales, you hire someone that does outbound sales, you focus on Facebook advertising. I don't know, it could be many things, but how are you going to get more leads? All right. That was a bit acquisition. So the tip is define the potential that you see in each channel. So high, medium, low potential. And then for the channels where you see medium and high potential, define the next steps. So that's a bit the tip of the day. Well, then we move to activation. So activation is the biggest problem in this group because the average satisfaction is a 3.8, as you've seen at the beginning, right? So that's a big problem. Well, online and offline activation is of course different. I mean, online, it's incredibly important that you have a very clear call to action button, and that when people land on the website, that it's immediately clear what they can buy there. So there's many websites where you need to scroll down and it's not clear when you come. And entrepreneurs, they are subjective because you always work on your own business, you see your website. So sometimes you think it's clear, but it's not clear. And then it's really useful to ask like some other people, like, can you give some feedback on my website? Like, what can I improve? So after the session, also please feel free to work in couples and to get feedback on each other's session. I think for activation, it's really important to understand the customer pain and to solve this. I mean, if someone is hungry, they might buy food. If someone is tired, they go to bed. If someone, I don't know, has a headache, they take a vitamin. But what is the pain point and how do you solve it? And sometimes the activation is low because you're not yet exactly addressing the customer pain. And I think it's really interesting to really understand from your previous customers, like, why did you buy with us? But also learn from the customers that talked to you but didn't buy from you. And it's really nice to make a phone call with them and to ask, like, why didn't you buy? Yes, and also make it easy for people, right? Communicate clearly what you have and make it easy for them. So an example KYR Africa, I come to that in a minute. And yeah, a question for you to reflect on is, what's your conversion percentage and how will you further improve this? But also, like, what pain point of your customers are you addressing? Why should people buy from you? So I chose this example because when you land on this page, you see 3 options, right? You see call, text, QA, forum. I think it's pretty clear or what the options are. So yeah, KYR Africa, are you in the room and can you elaborate a bit on this?
Yes, we're in the room. What exactly? Ask the question.
Yeah, so what is your strategy on, so people come to your website, how do you try to activate them, that they take an action? How is that working? What are your thoughts on this?
They take action by actually either calling, texting, or engaging on the question and answer forum. So we've seen most people are not yet calling or texting, but are engaging on the question and answer forum. So we want to actually change our homepage to the Q&A forum so that they directly can go into it and just ask their questions and things like those, so that now we can easily convert them to call or text. The one thing we're trying to solve for most people is accessing information that's user-friendly, accessible, and affordable. So that's why we are even making it as basic as calling or texting or actually asking questions and answers.
I really like that. I mean, I was looking at some websites and I picked this one because I think it's so clear. You can call, text, QA, and I like that you test what is working. And maybe you can even experiment with the text, right? Because you could say schedule a 15-minute call to show that it's a short call so that they don't waste 1 hour of their time.
Okay. We haven't thought about that, definitely.
That's something that you can try. And then text, I mean, what does text mean? Because text can be a textbook, like they have to write.
Oh no, in Kenya or Africa, text means messaging.
It's a messaging, right? Yeah, no.
Yes, it's a text message.
Yeah, no, okay, that makes clear. Yeah, all right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Thank you too.
Yeah, I just make some screenshots, so then that way I'm make sure you guys stay awake, because you never know when your company is in the presentation.
Oh, we are here.
So my tip is like really try to learn from customers that don't buy. Yeah, try to invest. I mean, make a phone call with them, even if it's 10 minutes. Really understand why they don't buy and get feedback. And sometimes people, they are not honest the first time, because of course people are polite, people are diplomatic. So ask a few more questions, like I really want to learn, what can we improve? And sometimes, yeah, you have to improve certain things, right? A certain service or how you communicate, or maybe you're too expensive. But that's, I think, interesting. Okay. Then I'm looking at my clock. We still have 28 minutes. So we're right on time. Okay, revenue. So you want to optimize the share of wallet of your customer. So share of wallet means if a customer, I don't know, has, let's say, 1 million in revenue, and they spend $10,000 a year on your business. That means they spend 1% of their total budget on you. But ideally for you, you increase this from 1% to 2%, right? So you make $20,000 instead of 10,000. So for your current customers, you can really try to understand how can we increase the share of wallet. And sometimes you can just ask your current customers, are there other things that we can help you with? Because your customers, they already like you. And yeah, so that's something that you can ask. Yeah, so upselling means that you offer them more stuff. So if someone comes to you and they ask a certain legal contract, let's say contract A, you can say, typically people that ask contract A also want contract B. Are you also interested in that, right? So that's upselling. And yeah, ask what additional needs the customer have, and be proactive in revenue management. I think earlier this session, someone talked about strategic relationship management. And I think once you have a customer base, yeah, once in a while, sit down, go through your list of customers, see where you can do more for. And also focus on revenues enough. So for instance, restaurants, I mean, this sounds silly, but typically restaurant owners, they count their money each day. Each day they take a look at their revenues. But some social entrepreneurs, they don't do this, or maybe time goes by without realizing. But if you have, let's say, a weekly revenue target, or you have a weekly meeting, you analyze your revenue, then you can also, yeah, I think by focusing on it, it grows. So a question for you to reflect on is, what's the average yearly spend of your customers, and how will you further increase this? So if you have a revenue of $100,000 and you have 50 clients, for instance, that means they spend on average $2,000 a year. And then the question is, how can you further increase this? And then you can also make the segments, right? So maybe you have, let's say, high, medium, low. Maybe you can say, we just focus on the ones that already spent a lot. So you can analyze a bit where you want to focus on. And I mean, it sounds maybe a bit silly, but you could, let's say, set a revenue target on Monday, and then on Friday you evaluate how it has been. And it's an easy one to implement. And by doing this, you increase the awareness of the revenues in your organization. Especially, I think, in like very commercial organizations, it's all about the money. But of course, in the impact world, it's way more about the impact that you want to create and the ideals that you have. And then the risk could be that the finances don't play enough role. Okay, then in terms of the retention, are there any questions so far, by the way, before I move too fast? Are there any questions or comments? No? Okay. Retention, and I know, of course, in my role today, it's always easier to share how things could work than in reality. I'm aware of that. I now work with an NGO, and it's incredibly hard to raise revenues and to attract grants. So yeah, do know that I'm aware of that. But yeah, my role today is to share some theories. Step 9, retention. So retention means that customers come back and stay with you. And this is really important because once you have attracted the customer, you've spent money on this, right? The cost of acquisition. You really want to build long-term relationships. And there's different models. So if you have a membership model with a monthly fee, they stay until they unsubscribe. But if they have one-off requests, so again, this example of the law firm, if once in a while they ask you for contracts, just waiting for them to ask you something, it's not the best approach, right? So you could maybe call them once in every few months. Is there something we can do for you? Can we help you? You can send emails. So you need to be proactive in your retention and analyze how retention works within your business. So for instance, a restaurant, it could be that someone comes back every month. But for instance, if you're a company that is selling holidays, I mean, people don't go on holiday every month. So people can come back every year. So analyze for your business how frequent people could come back, and you can develop retention campaigns and communication moments depending on this. So I think quite well-known retention things are sending a birthday card. If you go, I don't know, this is in the Netherlands, like if you go to a certain gym, they send you birthday cards. But you can also say, okay, every 3 months we call our corporate clients to have a check-in with them. And also work data-driven. So I think it will be very useful to make an overview of the customers that you have and then see in the data how often they come back, which ones have come back, which ones haven't come back. So that's a bit on retention. And I included one example, Gillette. They try to, so I'm not sure if it's the best example of retention, but I remember, so it's the shaving materials, right? So I think when I turned 15 or 16, they sent me a free package. So I think to young men, they sent a free stuff to start with, and then they hope that you stay loyal to them by offering that to you. And yeah, a question for you to reflect on is what percentage of your customers comes back and how will you further improve this? And like earlier, you could assess yourself on this paid, owned and earned, but you can also assess yourself, are you better in attracting customers or are you better in retaining customers? Some people, some entrepreneurs, they are not really outgoing, so they don't like this attracting, but maybe once the customer is in, they're really good in relationship building, they offer great service, so they're maybe really good in retention. Whereas maybe another business is really focused on getting new customers, but they forget about their retaining their current customers. So yeah, that's a few things that you can reflect on. And yeah, a tip of the day for retention is follow the data and make it easy for customers to come back. And you can make that easy, for instance, by once in a while checking in with them and asking them, is there something we can do for you? By sending an email once in a while to stay in touch, or indeed sending them a birthday card. Like it's these simple things that could make a difference. Then the last step before we go to the next breakout session, and for the ones, if the breakout doesn't work, we can share some insights in the group. So both are possible. So referral means that a customer brings in a new customer, which of course is great. And this highly depends on the customer satisfaction. So there's a theory that says at a level 1 to 10, if a customer gives you a rating of a 9 or 10, they will actively promote you because they're such a big fan of you that they'll promote you. If they give you a 6 or lower, they're quite critical about you and they might actively promote against you. So they would say, no, don't go to this guy. They're really bad. And if the satisfaction is a 7 or 8, it's customers are neutral. So if you want to increase your referral, a first step that you can take is understanding your customer satisfaction and understanding how you can improve it. And how can you do this? Actually, it's very easy. So after you deliver a service, you can send a short feedback form and ask like, okay, at a scale from 1 to 10, how satisfied were you? What did you like and what can you further improve? I mean, in the training business, like what I do, I actually always get feedback because all the programs send feedback after sessions. And yeah, it's really valuable for me because then you learn, okay, this I did well, this I can improve. And then next time you can implement it. And some businesses are really good on this, but I think it's important for you to reflect, like, do we have this culture of asking feedback or not? You can integrate referrals in your processes. So for instance, when you send an invoice to a client, I mean, I'm just making up this now, to be honest, but when you're sending an invoice, you can say, we love working with you. We hope you're excited. Please find the invoice attached, $800. By the way, you would really help us if you can bring us one new customer. Is there someone that you know that would like to work with us? I mean, this is just an example, but it's as simple as that, right? And then you integrate it in your process. So each time you send an invoice, you ask the question. Then an example is Dropbox. I mean, Dropbox, I assume you know it. It's the file saving system. And they give you more space for free when you refer a friend to Dropbox. So they integrate it in their process. So a question for you is, what actions can you take to increase the number of referrals? And when a customer comes to you, it's also interesting to ask, like, how did you get to know us, right? Because then you learn, is it through referral or was it through Facebook advertising, etc. Yeah. So this is the step 10. Yeah, make it easy for customers to help you, right? By asking or by sharing a form with them. And yeah, so these were step 1 to 10. And as I mentioned earlier, for each step, we could take 1 hour. I mean, we could do this program in 3 days, but the idea for now is in 2 hours to give you some inspiration, some questions to reflect on. And now we move to the breakout session. We will see which ones will work. So the ones that get an invite will join the breakout. The ones that don't, we do group discussion and share your insights. So Nuha, if you can set up the breakouts, that will be great.
Yes. So actually, our IT champion told us that the ones who don't have the app, Zoom app, cannot join a breakout room. So this is a Zoom limitation.
Okay, now we know, so we can blame Zoom. That's good.
Yeah. So the ones who have the app, I will assign you to a room, and the other ones, as you said, will have a group discussion.
Yeah. No, perfect. So for the people that stay here, who would like to share some of your insights that you had, like on step 5 to 10?
Nuha, can you please, I logged into Zoom with my desktop account and mobile account. Can you please allocate my other account to the breakout?
Yes, I did, Amr. You're in room 1, actually, with Osama and Vincent.
On my phone, where I have my headphone, I'm not in room 1. But
yes, yes, your both accounts are in room 1. I assigned you to the same room for the both accounts.
It's not working. I don't know.
And one of them already joined, the other one didn't.
All right. So who would like to share their insights?
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, I have a question concerning the retention mechanism. Actually, as we sell legal services, we have the problem that ordinary people buy this product only 1 time per life or 2 times per life. What can we maybe, what we can prepare to make this retention working?
So they requested 1 or 2 times per life, you said?
Yes, right.
Yeah. And what are the moments in their lives when they typically buy this?
This is some problems that cannot be solved without help of attorney.
What type of problems?
For example, divorce, blackmailing, so on.
Divorce or blackmailing?
Because we are marketplace and we are selling different types of legal services, but the problem is that really retention is very bad.
Yeah. So I think in some businesses, retention, like in the restaurant business, retention is easy. But I think you're in a business where it's not easy because, as you say, most people don't divorce twice, right? Or 3 times or 4 times. Yeah, it's a tough one. So I think on the retention level, the first step is to really make clear what your offering is. So let's say someone has divorced and you help them with your divorce. At the end, you can give them a brochure, or you can share these are the other services that we offer. So you can say, if there's anything in the future that you need, just know that we have A, B, C. Do you do that already? Do you make clear what your menu is?
We have not already started about marketplace. Now we are just advising people, but I'm asking for future, as I know that this problem with retention will be, because legal services in our country is really rare, but
I see. So I think for the future, it's really important to define the categories to make clear what all the categories are. So if I go to your website, that I see this, and then later in life, if I have another issue, that I remember, this is what they also offer.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you, Gautier.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah. Any other questions or comments or insights? Gagai, what were your insights from step 6 to 10?
I was actually listening to Dimitro, and I think a lot of us have the same issue in the legal fraternity that, for example, for us, we stopped focusing on retention because it's not something in the legal sense that someone is going to come again and ask for the problem. So we are trying to focus on referrals. So make sure the customer satisfaction is very, very high. And actually, when you were talking, I was trying to understand what is the customer rating we have. And we recently did a research. We did a research on our customers that were there. And we've seen that we actually get most of our clients through referrals. So because of this, that means our customer satisfaction is high. But I was asking them, don't give us the good words, give us what do you think we can improve? And because they told us what we can improve, they just told us we should improve one aspect of our communication because the whole platform is digital. Maybe when we send them an email as well, we can send them an SMS so that they can know that they received an email as well. So that later on, like for example, if someone has a case happening right now, the people don't check their emails as frequently as we thought. So it would be good to have a good notification coming to the SMS saying, "Hi, we have responded to your question. Please go to your email and check and get back to us." So yeah, that is what was my biggest insight here.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And I agree, your business retention is more difficult to referral. And I think it's really important to think about referral, how you can organize that. And do you sometimes organize a gathering for your clients that you have, let's say, a meeting or informal dinner or some kind of small event where you bring people together?
No, because of course of Corona. And even as you were talking about activation, I was really writing the one offline activation. Why we haven't been able to do this is because of Corona. Going and gathering people in large numbers is impossible. And then, yeah, so I think that's a good idea. But again, gathering them for like a dinner or something, it sounds like, for what purpose would we be calling them all to one room, you know? Because especially with the kind of clients that we get, they are very diverse in the social chain, if I can say that. Yeah.
And maybe online webinars, like where you invite people for a certain webinar where you share certain knowledge.
That would be something that would be able to work. But again, as I looked at what you were saying here with the customer segment, who is my role model customer, and we've been playing with that a lot. I think in knowing who our role model customer is, I think you've said something that can be able to work with us, especially in organizing them, because especially because we're going to look at females a lot, because they're the highest users of our platform. So it would be easier to organize maybe a session or a meeting for all of them, especially those who are going through the same kind of issue, so that we can be able to offer training.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful. If you segment and cluster, because as you mentioned, people are in different background, different parts of the social chain. But if you have a specific audience, you can offer something specific to them, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just making quick notes, but it's a
you
lot
don't want to invest time on each individual, but if you offer something for 10 people as a group, then yeah, your referral might increase because they like you, they appreciate you, and then
exactly.
Right. Any other insights? So are people in breakouts, or is everyone actually in the main room? I think the main room, right?
Only some of them are in one room together, actually.
Okay. Yeah. And
I can get them back here if you want to.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because we're nearly going to close the session.
Okay, they'll be back in 30 seconds.
Yeah. So let me share my screen. So we're nearly at the end of the session, and then we're going to reflect a bit on what we got out. So the question is, what was your most important insight of today, and what's your most important next step? And I kindly ask you to write this in the chat so people can also learn from each other, because you might get inspired by someone else. So please take 2 minutes and then write it in the chat, and then we have a few more minutes left for the homework. You can bring the music back maybe for 1 minute, Noah, if you have it.
Yes, I do. I will.
That'll be cool.
However, I need you to stop sharing your screen so I can share the music.
Yeah. I'll ask the questions in the chat.
Jasper, I do have the presentation. If you want me, I can share my screen.
Yeah, that's okay.
With the slide.
I share the screen, or you?
I can do it.
Yeah.
So it's slide 52, right?
Yes.
His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over about. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choked, he's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his old back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to his mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again. Yo, this old rhapsody. Better go capture this moment and hope that you better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying and choke. I really hate a trip, but I got a loke. As they croak, I see myself in the piss of smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night saying praise. Cause you better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Keep spending most our lives. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you? You better lose yourself in the music. go. You only get one shot, do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Oh, keep spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Keep spending most our lives. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Right. Thank you. I don't see people now, but not many people have written it in the chat. Maybe it's a difficult question or you need more time. I don't know, but yeah, the time. So we're currently focused on creating awareness about our product, take other tips. Yeah, but I will explain also the homework for next time. So if you can go to the next slide, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, so the next step is to fill in your commercial scorecard with your target where you want to be by December of this year. And then next session, we will learn about how to build your commercial strategy. And then afterwards, you will implement your strategy and define the priorities. So that's your homework for the next time. And if you also share the next slide, Noah, there's one more thing. Yeah, so I recommend you for these 10 steps to write down what is your key insight per step and what is the next step. And I think if you take 1 hour, you can fill this in. And I think it's really useful because then you can work on this in a very structured manner and make sure that you implement all the 10 steps. So yeah, these are the 2 pieces of homework. And I want to thank you for the session and your active participation. I think, yeah, everyone contributed very well to this session, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. And then I give it back to Nuha.
Thank you, Jasper. Thank you guys all for joining and for your contribution. I only just need you for 5 more minutes, probably even less. I will send you, as usual, a form to fill. It would only take 3 minutes. And it's in the chat. Yes, so could you please fill this form? Only 3 minutes or even less.
Quick question.
Thank you all.
Jasper, are you sending us the homework the same way you gave us the commercial score sheet card?
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I will share the slide deck and the homework with Nuha, and I think she will send it to you. Is that correct?
Yes, you will have everything on Workpilot as usual. And the homework is actually on the last slide, right, Jasper?
Yes, so it's two pieces of homework, right? So it's to fill in your scorecard, and that you can do in the Excel.
Mm-hmm.
And that I really need also to analyze. And then the slide with the 10 insights and 10 next steps, that's really for yourself. And I can also encourage you to plan a team session where you also involve your employees in this.
Okay. Osama, I think we have your co-founder with us on Workpilot, but I will also add your email.
Thank you. It's the second one. The first one misses one M.
Yes, clear.
Thank you.
I will put the music again, and please fill the form.
sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, about. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choked, he's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his old back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to his mobile home. That's when it's back to the lab again. Yo, this old rhapsody. Better go capture this moment and hope that you better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it.
Thank you all. If you filled the, I see that not all of you actually filled the form, but if you did, you can leave the session. However, could you please send me Lilian's email? Kage, you told me to add Lilian to the mailing list.
Oh yes, I can add it here. Is that okay? On chat?
Yes, yes, of course, and I'll copy it.
Okay.
Thank you.
In a lifetime, tell me why are we
Got it?
so blind?
Yes, perfect.
Great.
The ones we hurt are you and me. Tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one.
Those who didn't fill the form, please fill it. It only takes like 2 minutes.
It's very useful for us.
Yes.
Such a nice
Thank
song.
you all so much. See you next time.
Thank you.
My friends
Thank
always
you.
make fun
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you next time.
My friends always make fun of me that when I like a song, I always put it on repeat.
Nice.
Thanks a lot.
I love the song too.
Bye.
I'm glad you like it. Bye-bye.
If the heavens ever did speak, she's the last true.
Sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, about. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choked, he's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his old back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to his mobile home. That's when it's back to the lab again. Yo, this old rhapsody. Better go capture this moment and hope that you better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss this chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. As I walk through the valley of the shadow.
Thank you, Jasper. We got most of the form filled. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. It was fun, and I will. So you have the deck already, so I think you can just share it with them, and then it's clear for them what they can do, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So that's
And it's
clear.
very clear from the slides. The homework is at the end of the, I think, 2 or 3 slides. So everything is clear for them, I guess.
Yeah. And then you send me the feedback too, I assume, right?
Yes.
Sounds good. All right. Then talk to you soon. And the next session, I again align with you or someone else is back?
In fact, the next session, which will be in 2 weeks, right? And Nadine will be back at that time.
Okay. So I will talk to her then. All right. Well, it was good meeting you and
thank you.
see you later.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.